like quick overview on some new things that were just put in place. Now, let's go over to Notion. And on Notion, you'll notice in the top left corner, you may have some updates or some notifications.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I want to go over some of the boards that you have access to, especially the project board. This project board I've found has been extremely helpful for keeping track of things. We're using it kind of like Trello. It's like a Trello board basically, but it's for you specifically.
Okay.
And it's more focused because each person has more roles. So on here we have some of the instructions or some feedback. This is a really good place rather than communicating on Messenger back and forth. If we really need to, like for time-wise, and that's understandable, but it would be ideal to communicate on Notion on one of these lists here. Like if there's questions about when you're working on a worksheet or something specific in that regard, to put it in the comment section because it's all really relevant and located in the same place. And when we share links, I'm finding when we share links on Messenger, it's easier to lose them. But when we share links on the page that's related to what we're doing, then it's there and it's always accessible. It's really easy to pull up again. Just for the record.
That's good.
Do you have any questions?
So it's the comment section, and exactly what page? I'm still getting used to Notion fully.
Yes, I understand. I will share my screen. So you see this board here? Let's go. We have let's say basically read the creating worksheet checklist. Here's a checklist. These are things that would be good to do. What I'd like you to do, not now, but like when you're working on some of the checklists, I think this would be helpful for you. Where read the checklist is learn in months what took others years to learn. And then this shows you where to find it. So you navigate here, and it's like a file path. This is at it's at the bottom of the page, And then what I would do is, this is a link. This is really nice because any page in Notion, you could just hit @ symbol and you can start typing in creating worksheets. And then now you've got the system hub, and that's the system for creating worksheets. It has all the training and everything.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's there. But when you click this, I'm gonna hit Control, so it opens in a new window, and then this pops up. So what we could do is, this is just an example. I'm gonna put this side by side. And this is the Livecast outline that we're used to, but at the bottom of the Livecast outline is a checklist. This is where we put the checklist for a lot of the things that we do. And then, so then it says, go to the bottom, go to Livecast checklist, got that, and then Livecast outline. And it would be good to, while we're creating the outline this morning, we want to follow this. This is our to-do list basically, to make sure these things are in place as we go. But also, oh, that's why they were on two different things. Whoops, before. And then we could minimize that, and you go to before the Livecast, and then it says Livecast worksheet. So here's this. these are some other resources that are helpful. But this is undeveloped. I would like to make it better just so that it's something that we can teach other people how to do also. And I would love to be able to provide something like this for ministries, not just what works for the Army of Youth, but what could duplicate. So other ministries, pastors, teachers, evangelists, true education, outpost workers are able to create actionable worksheets like what we talked about in that podcast episode, which, by the way, was just scheduled a couple days ago, and now it's public so people can listen to it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So anyways, that's how that goes, but you were asking about the comments. So the comment section is right here. You can go @ and you can tag someone to speak to them, and then when you hit send it, we get a notification. So it's very easy to add links in here. So just a quick overview with Notion. Notion works with blocks. Every single one of these is a block. There's different types of blocks. You have a lot of freedom where you when you hit the plus button, it'll tell you the different types of blocks you can do. There's basic blocks, there's databases, and there's media, and you can embed links. And then there's advanced ones, which I don't really understand, but I mean, it's pretty straightforward once you get familiar with it. But what I've found with Notion is just by using it and exploring, you incrementally learn something new over time. And at first it seemed like, for me, I was a little overwhelmed. I was like, whoa, that's a lot. But then the more I learned how to do it, the more I'm like, whoa, this is superior than anything I've ever experienced before. And I was really biased towards Trello for many years. But I realized this not only has everything with the Trello board, this has so much more. Because right here, this is the Trello board here. This is the Kanban system. But there's this thing up here that's called a view. This view is super helpful. But we're looking at the Victoria view. So I'm going to hit this 3 dots. Not only do we have a board like Trello for Kanban, but we have a table that will automatically change this. This is called a database. So this database can be viewed by a table, and this database can be viewed by a calendar. It'll take all the dates, it'll put them up on a calendar. It could just be a simple list, which is helpful. And then it could be a gallery of things, like if there's photos or media on here, like recipes, this could look like a cookbook, for instance. It's very versatile. Depending on what type of database you want to use will determine what format you want to use. And you can have, as you can see, multiple views that have different, this is a table, and these are all boards, but all within the same database, you can switch before them. And I'm like, wow, that's something Trello couldn't do.
That's true.
So anyways, that's just basic. So did that answer your question about the comments?
Yes, it did.
And then some?
No, it's good because I don't know this program very well at all. So that's very, very helpful.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know that it was, I'm just trying to give you the basics so you can grasp it better. But the view is something very important to know. That's good. And then just like on Trello, you just, when you're ready, you just move it over to in progress and then completed, or actually needs review. If you need me to review something, I have this review column that you can move the card over to.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. I guess that's, I'm wondering, I don't exactly know what, I don't know what pages you have access to. So I'm not sure what resources you have, but there are some resources that are really helpful to have for creating worksheets.
So yeah, I would be able to tell you better, but we'll see. So what I have here is in the same place that it says Victoria View. There's probably many of these things I have no need for, but there is, it says board decisions, research, website, video production, graphic design, online course, content team, YouTube team, writing team, and then all the different views from all the different people. Sorry, what?
I see all those, but so those would be views for this database, but the pages would be like on the left. Do you see this? I think it's called a sidebar. You see a sidebar on the left?
Uh-huh.
This will tell you what views you have. I mean, what pages you have access to.
So it says I have the Livecast calendar and project board. Those are the two.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. So the Livecast calendar, project board is important, specifically your view, and then there's the watchword page, and then you have the worksheet database. There is, you've seen the worksheet database, right? At least once?
Yeah, yes, I saw it once.
Okay. Another thing that I realize is when you create a worksheet, please add it here. And also you can use this as kind of like a to-do list a little bit, where these are the worksheets that I'd like help to be created for the finding time.
Uh-huh.
And there's a little bit of instruction on it too. Like when we open this, there's some little notes here under Fritter Finder. And you created one that was a personal prophetic key of all the symbols. That would be good to put on here too.
Yes, no problem.
That way it doesn't get lost on Google Drive. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay. Good. Just wanted you to be aware of this. And I added your habit forming worksheet on here too.
Oh, praise the Lord. Excellent. Yeah, I'll add the other one.
Okay, cool. So this is a useful thing to have, to be aware of. But other than that, I think we could, do you have any last questions before we go into the outlining?
I will definitely have more questions, but not right now.
Okay, cool. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. In the comment section would be preferred, but if you need to, Messenger will work too. Whatever is most convenient for you.
I'll learn how to use the comment section. We will. There's no better way to learn than to just use it.
That's right. That's exactly right. So then what I'm going to do is, this is cool. Hold Control and hit P, and it's like a search feature to find anything and everything in here. So I hit Control P and I'm going to type in learn, and then I'm going to hit enter, and I'm there within seconds. Learn in months what took others years to learn. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It does.
Great. So we already prayed. What we are looking at for the outline is we've got our teaching points that people are going on. Another thing that we want to keep an eye out as maybe what we could do is this outline. We can go through this checklist together. One thing that we want to keep an eye on is questions, objections that people may have that we won't be able to cover in the teaching point. We can put that under the Q&A section. Whoops. Do you know how to go to the checklist?
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
you're
went
there.
there.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's fast. So we already got that. And then we have one for order. We have one for Bible readings format. We have one for study one thing at a time. And I think we only have 3 teaching points right now, right?
Yeah, but I think that probably 1 or 2 more would be good because they're fairly small at this point in time.
Okay. And then we want to keep an eye out for frequently asked questions. And then if you ever need an explanation, you can hit this little toggle button, and it has a few questions to prompt the mind that helps when creating the outline. Why do you laugh?
No, I'm laughing because like I don't know if it's just my phone, but I'm like looking at like your whole screen and I'm like, wait, is this movie this for Enoch or not?
Oh, it's on your phone, this screen share, huh?
Yeah, it is. It's okay.
Oh, okay, I see.
It's helping me to learn way more because I'm looking there and I'm copying what I'm learning.
Oh, good, perfect. I'm happy to hear that. And then document each questions. Oh, I see. This is still under the frequent asked questions. So we don't quite have those yet, but we do want to keep an eye out for that. So I guess what we're doing is we're just planning, setting the intention, and then we'll go ahead and do that. And we want to identify new watchwords. So these are from last month. Bible readings is a watchword. And although we have the
We're gonna be
topic,
using that again. Go ahead, sorry.
although we have the topic for the other ones, order is not necessarily a watchword. Study one thing at a time. That might be. It's kind of like in order to be successful, must do one thing at a time. Oh, is that a teaching point? Oh. Well.
we can change whatever needs to be changed.
No, it's good. It's good.
Were you going to teach that in the order?
Oh, I think we can handle the order like later or as we go. I don't exactly know what order to teach it in. Usually what I do, like how my mind works personally, is I just like to get the information out there. And then once the information's there, it's a whole lot easier to put it in sequence and priority. And then
Yeah, I
as I
agree.
put it in order, one of the last things I do is just shave off the extra fluff.
That's good.
And then we definitely want to identify like one major takeaway or actionable steps that people can take. And from these actionable steps is where we're going to get a lot of the worksheet thinking, and that's the zone that we're going to be in there. Oh, and there's some examples of actionable steps. Oh, there is something so cool that I did some research about a year ago on actual steps for worksheets that I think you would appreciate.
Yes.
And it is this, it's a system for creating worksheets. So if I hit Control P and then type in creating worksheets, I'm looking for the one that says System Hub on it, because a System Hub is all the systems. So I got that, and then boom, this pops up. It's like one of the fastest way. No more team hubs, like we learned from Life Church, but this is like the fastest way to do it, and that's a table of contents. And then so I'm going straight down to examples of actual steps. Here it is. Nope. I just recently put it here. Here it is. So check boxes, I think for worksheets, just for communicating, would be extremely valuable, because this says like, and they all start with like practice. Like we're telling them practice taking notes or describe how do I say this? In the worksheet, I'll use it as an example. Let's pull up, what is the name or the personal prophetic key that you made? I don't think it's on my drive, to be honest.
Probably not.
Unless I put it there.
You might have. Okay, I can send it to you. We can just add it. How would you like me to get it to you?
You can, you can send it to me on Messenger.
Okay.
That would be perfect. Awesome. So I'll give an example of, I took a course that was really powerful. Here it was saying like, okay, cool. So this is real nice and simple. You know how to
It's
create
not
a
quite
check.
finished.
Yes,
Go
I
ahead.
understand. You know how to create a check box
Yes, I do.
under a bullet?
Yes, because
Okay,
there's all these different.
great. This was neat. So it's kind of like, how many lines do we have? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's just say
We have 12.
list write a list of, or we'll say make a list of, I'm glad you can count like that. Make a list of 12
It was
symbols.
8. It's actually 18.
Oh, okay. Make a list of 18 symbols. That is just an example, to be honest. And then identify the Bible definition of the symbols you listed. And so basically what I'm trying to say is like, not only do we have the place where they can actually do the work up above and fill in the blanks and however, but we actually have a checklist for, as they do it, people love check boxes that they can make sure that they cross their T's and dot their I's. And when we provide that, like somewhere connected with every worksheet, then people know for sure, without a shadow of their doubt, did I do what I needed to do to get the results, build the habit, learn the skill that I need in order to have that transformation. So so I say that because here under this creating worksheets, here's a lot of examples. Like I was looking at this course and they were telling us sometimes people need to make a decision. They need to decide what they're going to study, decide where they are going to, I don't know how they're going to take notes. Sometimes they need to focus on something. They need to finish something that they started. And when the actionable steps start with action words, I don't know, people just thrive on that. Now that we have this, I'm going to add this real quick to the
That's really, really good. I'm really excited about looking at that.
okay.
I feel like it's going to be a huge help.
Great. And I think that will be a huge help to thrive as well. And I pray that it will be. And yeah, I really want to help the mission of Thrive go further, faster.
Amen.
Awesome. Well, this is Really good. I'm excited. All right, so getting back to this checklist where we were. So those were actionable steps. Um, we need to keep an eye out for that. We need to think of a testimony or a case study that's relevant and goes along with each of the teaching points. One thing that I realized too is in teaching, there are few things that are more effective than sharing my personal testimony with the topic or the subject uh, that I'm teaching to people. One, it shows that I practice what I preach, and two, it gives an
Mm-hmm.
example in real life of how it can be applied. It takes the theory and brings it into the how. And three, it develops more confidence and trust with the person I'm teaching,
Mm-hmm.
where they are more inclined to accept other things that we have to share. So the personal testimonies I've started to incorporate a lot more in how I teach than before, because before I just kind of like dry verses. And it reminds me of the verse where it's like, never man spake as this man before, because never man lived as this man before. And when we
Yeah,
share a
amen.
testimony, it has that similar effect. Um, yeah, so we want to find the additional resources. I still got to create one of them, and I got to rehearse them, and I need to ask challenging questions. And these are some of the areas that I want to help challenge people in. These are some of the themes that we encourage people.
Okay.
All right, so now that we have that, we can get over to this um, this outline. What if we both worked on teaching point number 3? I think it'd be one of the easiest, studying one thing at a time.
Yeah, okay.
Why is that funny?
No, I agree with you. It's probably going to be one of the easiest.
And yeah, and I think with there's like a snowball effect that if we handle some of the simple, faster ones, it builds momentum and makes it a lot easier to blast through some other parts.
That's really good. I oftentimes do things opposite, and it doesn't always work out very well.
There is a time to take the hardest part first, because we're more inclined to procrastinate it. And once you get that done, it makes a lot of little things like less relevant. So there's definitely a balance. I mean, that's a good strategy too sometimes, but I find with training or learning or like two people working together, like in this situation, if we choose a more simple one, it'll help us get in the groove.
That's right. Amen.
Okay, so for this, what we want to do is identify objections people have, try to think of some testimonies, or in here, what we could do is we can identify which of these are an objection, which of these is a testimony, and what are some Bible verses that go along with this too.
Okay.
Oh, that's a teaching point benefit. That's different. Oh, that's total. Oh, man. Whoa.
Okay, let's see.
I'm sorry. I messed up. I don't know how to put this thing back.
Can you recreate it?
I think I figured it out. I got it.
Yay.
Praise the Lord. Oh, it works. Oh, good. All right. Consequence rule box to establish rules of order. Yeah, that was a really powerful testimony. So that's kind of like a case study too.
Okay.
And jack of all trades, master of none. That's That's good. Oh, also, if we can think in slides, if there's something like a visual representation, that would be good. Rebecca is so good and fast at finding relevant images. If we just
I
cast the vision, she'll just find it quickly. And she
I
loves doing that.
really have been enjoying the slides lately,
Oh,
very
yeah?
much.
Oh, praise the
Oh yeah,
Lord. I'm glad. We're improving. And that's one of the areas we're trying to get better at. So this is a
praise the
test.
Lord. Well, it's working.
Praise God. I'm happy to hear that. I think the mind wanders, bring it back is a very actionable um, thing. That's like a habit. Like in my mind, that was a trigger that when I actually studied that phrase in the spirit of prophecy, and then it got
Mm-hmm.
embedded in me because I kept like wandering in my devotions. And when I studied that, now it's like when I wander, it's like, all right, bring it back, bring it back. And if
Mm-hmm.
people could have something similar going through their mind, that would be helpful. Oh, wow. These are all very, very helpful principles. Also, another thing, if you find a Bible verse, like a proof text that could substantiate a concept, I like to, as you can see the format here of Luke 16:10, John 16:12, Ecclesiastes 9, we just put the Bible verse at the beginning in abbreviation with the 3 letters.
Okay, perfect.
The goal here, these are going to be talking points on the slide, so we don't want like full sentences. We want like just key points, like talking points to spark the idea, to glance down and know what to say. It's not a
Yeah,
script.
it's like an outline. It's not a book.
Exactly.
So, question: do the testimonies and case studies go together, or do they have 2 separate sections?
Um, that's a good example. I mean, good question. Um,
So I have I just like it's on my clipboard about our family with the box rules and things like that. Would it go here or would it go somewhere else?
you know, I found that putting the tests, like the examples there, um, I think if we have only one testimony there, if we choose our best testimony and put it there, that would be ideal. And then we just insert when we teach the point or like the new concepts, then we can like, how do I say this? Lord, please help me. On the slides, I want you to think about the slides. As soon as we get into the teaching point, I think it actually says like number 1, and then it tells them. So that's a section head, like that's a slide, transition slide, and then it goes through all the content. And then at the end of the content, there's another transition slide that says like testimony, and then it goes into that. And then there's a transition slide that says actionable steps, and then it goes into what to do.
Okay.
So I say that because that's such a relevant one that I think would be good in the content. Like we can still have a lot of testimonies in the content portion.
Okay.
So I would leave that up above and just put it somewhere wherever, and order this where it's relevant.
I'm afraid I fully deleted it. What did you call it? I don't know.
What did I call it? Hit Control Z. Did it work? Hit it again. No? Oh, there it
Okay, there it
is.
is.
You found it.
Phew! Praise the Lord.
Praise God.
Yes, come in.
Just came to get my charger and I'm gonna fix my food. Is it? I guess it's downstairs.
Yes, you can ask them downstairs and they'll be able to help you with that.
I found a beautiful picture of Jesus.
Yeah, amen. That's very nice.
And then there was a tree that was just blooming.
Oh,
Oops, sorry, I keep.
you know what?
But it's okay. I just need to be mindful. I just need to look.
I will move them.
Huh?
I said I will move them so no one has to trip on them.
Well, that's okay. Sometimes tripping is needed so we can learn to look up.
Well, we've already tripped enough, I think. Okay.
Wow, this is such a beautiful truth.
Amen.
This is powerful. So part of I guess the objections, use the outline objections. Oh yeah, that was good. I remember Christina asked me, she was trying to study like 4 different things on the same week and try to balance back and forth within the days. And I was like, Lord have mercy, that would be so overwhelming. And she was feeling like she needed to do them all within the same week. And I'm like, okay, we really need to communicate, like just commit to this topic for a time. And there's no definite set length, but just focus.
I know of other people who have tried to do that as well. I think something else that goes right along with that is also making sure that you are identifying the most urgent and important topic.
Yeah.
Because if you're not studying the most urgent, most important topic for yourself or for your Bible study contacts, then you're going to feel that way.
That's so true. Well, and a thought that I was thinking this week is, what if we gave people like a framework that they could help, not that they'd use it every time, but we would give them like a framework in their mind that they can use to identify, okay, I got a list of topics. How do I know which one's most urgent and important?
Yes, I think that would be excellent. That would be really excellent.
You know, it might even be just that urgent and important matrix that Stephen Covey put together originally.
Uh-huh.
And we could just give them that tool and say, all right, just put your topics into this category and find out which one do you need to do.
Maybe we can have that part of their worksheet.
Okay, so that should be like a action, worksheet. So we got a takeaway. So create a urgent and important matrix for people to filter their list of devotional options and focus on what they should study first. That's really good. I like that. That's a great suggestion. Thank you. See, this would have been a lot harder if I was by myself, because you suggested that, but your phrasing helped me to answer the question. I thought about it too, but I didn't have that phrasing.
It is really helpful to have people to bounce ideas off of.
All right. If we take a step back, let's look at this teaching point benefit. I didn't explain what that is, but in the checklist, I didn't explain it there either. Okay. I want to though. Toggle.
So a teaching point benefit is how it benefits you? How it benefits the person who's listening. Correct? Is it like that?
Yes, it is. Explanation. Yes, and the reason why is because this is like, I'll give you an example with archaic synonyms. We need, if we have 3 teaching points, we need 3 benefit statements where
Okay.
these are going to be in the email that we encourage people to attend. It has to strike curiosity, has to be benefit driven. It has to, oh, can you write this down?
Yeah.
You can write it down right underneath the explanation. You see this toggle?
Teaching point, benefit, explanation. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I do see the toggle, and I will work on writing it right there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So
Okay.
it needs to be benefit driven. It needs to pique curiosity, and it's like for instance, it should follow. Are you writing it on the same place, or is mine not updating?
So I am writing it under one of them. It might not be the same one. Let me see.
Does it say teaching point benefit?
Yeah, it does. See, teaching point, benefit, explanation.
And that's under step 3. I mean, teaching
Yes,
point
it
3.
is under
All
step
right.
3.
Then it's probably just taken a while for me to update, and that's totally fine. So it should follow the system for creating titles and headlines. And just let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow. This is going to be used in it's going to be used in the email invitation, the pre-invite email that is inviting people to attend, and it's also going to be used in the post invites email telling people what they missed. And it's also copy that we can use. Copy just means persuasive writing. It's text. It's like used for ads. So it's also going to be used in the copy for doing like Facebook Lives to let people know what we just talked about. So if we're able to create this benefit statement while we're doing the outline, then it really helps to for everyone else on the marketing side to know how to encourage people to join. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We're beginning with the end in mind, and this is a beautiful thing. So here's another thing you could write. An example. Archaic synonyms is a watchword that would not attract an uneducated audience or an uninitiated or uninformed audience. Instead, we would say a teaching point benefit, or instead of a watchword, we would use that. And we might say something like 5 ways to find relevance, or 5 ways to find specific Bible counsel, even though it may be written in outdated biblical language. Or you understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like,
Yes.
yeah, it's very, it tells them clearly what they can expect. And that could be another point. It tells them clearly what benefit they can expect or what result is going to happen from that. It's really results based. It's just one sentence. You can also write down that it's just one sentence or title or one statement. It's not a paragraph. And the shorter brevity is good. All right, I think that's good for explaining it. So does this all make more sense to you? It's not on my page still.
I wonder why. Let me see.
Does it say you're connected to the internet above? I saw everything else you were adjusting.
Yeah, I'm connected.
Interesting. What happens if you refresh?
We shall see, but let me copy and paste. Let me copy this just to
Yeah,
make sure.
that's smart.
Okay, now let me refresh. We'll see what happens. I've lost too many things by refreshing.
I know, me too.
Okay, it's still there.
Oh, good. Oh, let me refresh.
Yeah, it's showing I'm online.
It's
Everything else is working.
Oh, then it's probably my fault.
Now it's showing me that you're back.
I'm really glad
Where
that
are
you
you?
made that. Oh, it's still here. I don't even see your mouse. We got to be in different locations. Where are
We
you
might
on this
be.
document?
Do they have a Find My Friend? Oh, I know why.
Why?
Problem solved. I was somehow in teaching point 1. No
That
worries.
makes sense. I see you.
I will copy and paste, and all will be well.
That's cool. Look at that. I'm glad you got all of that. I knew everything else was updating. I didn't know how that happened.
I was so confused as well.
But
Okay.
So scroll up until you see my icon.
I see you, and I'm already there, and here it's pasted.
Awesome. And here, look at this. So
Oh, okay. It's double.
A really quick way that you can change all this into like a numbered list is you just select it. See my screen?
Mm-hmm.
You select this and you click and drag to select all of them, and you hit this 3 dots or 6 dots, and then you go to turn into, and then a numbered list.
Perfect. Excellent.
Yeah, it's really helpful. And it just
Good.
helps you guys to be able to view it better. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. Thank you so much. This was much needed.
So this needs to be like a,
And
this is like a sub.
yeah, there you go. It is like a sub. So you just hit tab.
Well, oops, that's okay.
Or you could delete it entirely.
So the thing is that before I did have it in a tab.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, but it was before.
That makes sense. Can I show you something with number 5?
Huh?
Can I show you something with number 5?
Yes.
So this is another quick tip. It says, should follow the system for creating titles. I had that space for a reason. So then it's okay. You hit the @ symbol and you just start typing creating titles and headlines. And then again, you look for the system hub. And when you click that, it's a link.
Oh, perfect.
And it's all with the keyboard, just @ symbol, title, and enter. And it's super fast.
Okay, excellent.
So anyways, that's helpful. I don't want to lose this, so I'm going to put this over on the checklist. Over here. Tina was really struggling to understand what is going on with this teaching point benefit. She finally got it, but we've never done this in advance while we were doing the outline. And I realized that's the best time to do it.
Definitely, it is.
Oh, I explained that to you so that we can figure out, instead of saying study one thing at a time, we're not telling them what, but like what it is. We're just trying to pique their curiosity. What should be our benefit statement? What problem does this solve?
The verse comes to mind, ever learning but never coming to a knowledge of the truth.
Oh, that's good. Ooh, wow. I need to put that in up here. That's a really good verse. Okay, so then okay, we can talk. Wow, that is so relevant. We can say something like the reason why people are ever learning but never coming to the knowledge of the truth, and how to avoid that.
Avoid their mistake.
Let's say one reason. What was that?
Yeah. Avoid their mistake. Because it says why people, so you can say their mistake.
Yes.
To avoid their mistake. I'll just change it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hey, if that was a teaching point and I got it in an email, I was like, I think I need to listen to this.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's a good question. Ask yourself, if you read this benefit statements and an invitation email, would you want to listen to it? All right. Oh, what am I doing?
I was wondering the same thing. It's okay. Nothing that can't be fixable.
Yeah. Where did that go? Okay. Wow, that's awesome. This is such a helpful resource. It needs a little touch up, but that's good. You took really good notes. I'm glad you can type like that. All right. Wow. I'm so glad we have that teaching that the benefit statement.
What else? I'm thinking.
Okay.
Another one. Find the greatest efficiency you have in your life and maintain it.
Are you talking about for a benefit statement?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we only need one.
Just one? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, just one. Because this is going to be like 3 bullet points in the email, and brevity will be good. Although that is helpful. We can use that for the hook.
Yeah, that's true.
For this teaching point, because they're very similar. Wow, we can use both teaching points as a hook. That is so cool.
That's really nice.
And I like that we're learning this, because if desired, they could be used for the Thrive curriculums too. And I'm just like excited, because these are just principles that are so helpful in every phase of life. Even when you're like talking to kitchen staff, you're just like, you hook them with something, and like something that you're going to teach them. They're like, what? I need to know this. Now you have their attention.
That's right. It's like the other day I was at the grocery store, and my kitchen manager I'm training in, she said, I changed the menu from what you had. She says, is that okay? And I said, you'll soon understand. That's all I told her. And she was like, what? No, are you mad? Like, what's up? I said, you'll soon understand. That's all I would say. And she's like, you have to show me. You have to teach me. Like, what are you meaning I'll understand? What am I going to understand? We need to have this class right now. I'm like, no, just calm down. You'll understand in time.
That sounds like April.
Yeah, it is April.
That's so funny.
Oh, it's really funny.
And you know what the verse says above it? It says, silly women laden with sins, ever learning, like led away with diverse lusts. So it's really showing the reason why people are not finding victory in their lives too.
Because, this is so key. You know what? This goes right along with it, because like study one thing at a time, is also closely connected with the fact of having but one master. like it's not a completely direct link, but you know where it talks about in Spirit of Prophecy that people are fickle, variable, because they are connected to their idols while at the same time they're trying to connect to Christ.
Yeah.
It's like some of those principles are here as well. Like it's not completely direct, but it's like
it's not having singleness of mind. It definitely has that element there. But it sounds like with that verse, it's kind of like people are clinging to idols. But what about if people are clinging to like multiple Bible subjects? Or it's like sometimes we fill our schedule with so many good things, and the reason why we're like burn out is because we're doing so many good things, but we have to prioritize sometimes and do them in the right order, one at a time.
That's right.
Oh, case study would be that Spirit of Prophecy quote that talks about that man of business who was able to accomplish so much. He's like, how are you able to do so much? And he's like, well, it's simple. I do one thing at a time, finish it until completion.
That's right.
Businessman, how do you accomplish so much business? So I just do one thing at a time.
So this is really crazy.
What is?
This is going to fit so perfectly in here. So James 1:6-8.
James
this
1.
is like, so this is where it says, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed.
Wow.
For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Wow.
So like if we're just like going between this and that and the other thing, like constantly, like we're not focused, then we're unstable in all of our ways.
That's so powerful. And along this line too, I would love to have your help if you're interested, but I would like to use whatever we are not able to cover in the live cast, keeping it about an hour. I would love to use the extra topics as daily live videos during the month.
Yeah, that's good.
That way we can repeat and enlarge on these concepts and just drill the message home. And that way what we're doing is we're actually providing ongoing coaching and training and support for the people who are in the program. And that way they get more motivation, encouragement, and instruction, repeat and enlarge throughout the month too.
It's really, really good.
But I'll tell you, I'm struggling to extract, like there's still some scraps that I have to salvage from the past live casts, that like slides that we entirely skipped because of time. And I would really like to use those for daily live videos, but I haven't pulled them out yet.
So what you need is a system.
Yeah, I need a system. You're right.
You need a post live cast checklist system kind of thing. Okay. Where it's like pull all slides and you just start, you like have your checklist of what you're going to do, like, and it doesn't have to be you, it can be the team.
Yes. You know, I actually think that I did that. Live cast members. I recently put one of those together, but I didn't. Oh, actually, after slides, veteran graphic designer, review the new slides created and see if there's new slides that can be used as a template. Oh, okay, I'll add it under here because that's relevant. Identify slides that can be used for individual day live videos. Oops. Day live videos during the month. This would make doing day live videos so much easier when we're doing everything synergistically.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
And it's nice that everything on Notion, it interlinks together. I've never had a system where all of our resources are so easy to interlink. And if you don't have access to it, then when something's linked, it just says untitled. And you click and it says access denied. You can't view it. And then it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. If it's like confidential or something.
That's really good. That's excellent. Yeah. I'm excited about learning this because I think it will solve a lot of problems.
What problems do you think it'll solve?
The kitchen organizational problems, because I was having so much problem having everything organized in Trello for the organization behind the scenes, as well as the recipes and everything else. It was becoming complex, but I needed them all to be linked together.
Yeah.
For those who were working as kitchen managers, but I didn't want necessarily the people who were working in the kitchen not as managers to have all the data, and I didn't want a whole new Trello board because that was going to be just way too complex. Yeah. So anyways.
That's good. Well, praise the Lord. I definitely see how you could accomplish that in Notion. Extract the topic. Yeah, I was seeing that your board was getting very complex, and I could see the pain point because I know I've been there. And what I learned from the System Hub is trying to use a project management tool for managing your systems. They need to be two separate things.
That's right. That's so right. Okay, another verse.
Okay.
Let me go there. You can copy it. Matthew 6:22. If the light of the body is the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light.
See, this is a verse that always like got to me where I can't say that I fully like really grasped. Like I've heard a lot of things about it, but it doesn't seem like it really like clicks in my mind. It's just saying that it's like if you focus on light, the light of God's word and truth and righteousness, then your whole body will be affected. Your whole life, every area of your life will be affected by what you focus on.
Yes,
but
that's right.
If your eye is focused, if you're beholding evil, then your whole body will, or your whole life will be affected by evil. Well, that makes sense. But what about if, therefore, the light that is in me be darkness? Does that just mean like if you have the light and you turn from the light and it becomes darkness, then you have dark, like super great darkness in proportion light that you rejected?
Yeah.
Is that really what the verse is talking about?
Well, I may be having that understanding because that's what spirit prophecy says. But I definitely believe, since that is truth, it's very, very possible that that is what it's saying. I would probably use that verse to prove that point.
But when you read this verse, do you think, is there another point that's more prominent in your mind?
This whole section?
Sure, but especially that verse, those two, 22 and 23. That was actually the most verse I've ever heard of that was the most sense I've ever heard of the verse before. I've read it so many times. But that actually makes sense.
What is my thing doing? From what I understand is it's like single is also focused. So it's like the light of the body is the eye. Or anyways, if therefore thine eye be focused, especially on the light, on Christ, the whole body is filled with light, just like we were saying. Because of our effect on looking at Jesus, it's going to affect every part of us.
Wow.
And then the same thing. But if thine eye be evil, or even because the eye is a symbol of the understanding. So either way, it's like thine understanding, like if thy body is the light of the body is the eye, or the understanding. Wow. Right? So it's like if our understanding be evil, then our whole body will be full of darkness. And then if therefore the light that is in us, just like we were talking about, be darkness, like if we turn away from that, how great is that darkness?
You just reminded me of something that I need to write on the board.
Excellent. I'm grateful that I'm helping you remember. And then verse 24 is talking about you cannot serve two masters. And I really think that this verse could be used in this context because it's really talking about focus.
It is talking about focus. Now, here's my question.
Go ahead.
I don't doubt that it could be used. My question is, it seems like it's focusing on good and evil, but what we're talking about, I could just see the student saying, but it's not that I'm focusing or like I'm torn between good or evil. I'm like torn between like 5 good books to read or 5 good subjects to study at the same time. How would you correlate that?
Well, personally, I probably would just go to what is good for right now.
Yeah, that's true. The greatest enemy of best is good.
That's right.
And also verse 21, it says, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So that's talking about focus. It's like where your heart, your desires, your goals, your life, your direction, it's going to be where you invest your time, your money, your understanding in. Wow, that's really powerful.
If it's more confusing, let's not use the verse. But yeah, I think that's part of the extracurricular behind the scenes.
Like the daily life video one.
Yes, a daily live video one, exactly.
Well then, let's put it in the notes for using for a daily live video.
You should make a checklist here.
Where?
Somewhere below here, like below action steps or teaching points or something, where before it's the teaching point number 4, you can just have another checklist of live video content. Just like its own heading.
Oh.
So that as you're going through, you realize, well, this is not going to work for the livecast, but we can use it as a daily live video. So you're already filtering information, so you're not losing it eternally. But it's not cluttering your notes either.
Yeah, no, I like that. That sounds good. The only thing is to update that, I have to go find an empty, oh, I could do that. I'll show you how to do that. Maybe I can take this opportunity to teach you that.
Okay, so, perfect. I definitely don't know.
Cool. Look at my screen, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to, I'm gonna hold control. I'm gonna click that just so I have it in a different tab. I don't want to change out of that. But what you're talking about is editing a template. To edit a template, we have to find one of these that are empty. None of them are empty, so I'm gonna hit new. I usually like to leave one empty one in every database to update the templates. So I go to open, and this is something that I love about Notion, and it actually added it after I started using it. I'm like, this is such a cool update. This is amazing. Where it says new livecast template, where you hit edit and edit, and then it says you're editing a template. So anything that we change on here will all be updated at the click of a button.
Wow, so wonderful.
Isn't it? And then the cool thing is, every single time we use it from henceforth, it'll have all the updates. But another thing, this is an advanced block. Remember I told you everything works on blocks? This is a table of contents block. And as you can see, it's kind of like a Google Docs outline. Where every time that I use this header, it's going to update on the table of contents also. So that's really helpful.
Praise the Lord.
So another thing to do this quickly, you just hit that 3 dots and you hit duplicate, or I'm clicking stuff, I'm sorry. Or you hold control and you hit D to duplicate. It's faster than just starting from scratch. And Google Slides, I learned from Rebecca, you hit Control D when you select a slide, and it also does the same thing. This is like a principle across programs.
What?
I know.
We need some Control D for Outpost centers.
I know. We that's Amen. Amen.
No, I've been talking to everyone here about how we have to write down and document everything so clearly that we can literally send the information that we have had through setting up this Outpost Center. And
Yes.
from the Google folders alone, people can start a new Outpost.
I completely agree. I really want to see that happen.
And we can just hit Control D, duplicate.
That's right.
Okay, excellent.
So I'm just going to put that down here real quick. This is great. That was a good suggestion. Thank you. Okay. So we can drag it down over there. You want to drag that while I update the one that we're working on?
Yeah. Let me do that.
Thank you.
Let me find it first.
It's number 8 in the content.
It's like right there.
So what we need to do is start cutting the fat. We need to, like, you have to consider if you've got 40 minutes to share and you've got 4 teaching points, that's 10 minutes a point. You got 5 points, that's 8 minutes a point.
That's
And
true.
And you have to ask, how many Bible verses can you share in 10 minutes?
Not that many.
Not that many. Maybe like 2 or 3.
That's what the worksheets are for. A sermon is soon forgotten, but a worksheet remains.
Yes, that is so true. Wow.
So we only have 30 minutes left.
Okay. Although
We have been making progress, but
we
I just want to make sure it's.
But that's good. It's good to know. Wow, we do have 30 minutes left. Okay, so we have to identify, we've got the objections. We have a testimony. What are some takeaways? Let's go into takeaways because I think we got plenty of content. We don't need to add more to it. What can people do right now? And yeah.
Really think this urgent and important matrix is going to be like huge.
I really agree too.
Huge. I think that's going to be, if there was no other takeaway, that would be excellent. But how many takeaways are you wanting?
That's a good question. Maybe that's all we need.
The decision matrix, though, is quite intensive.
Oh.
Because what is it going to take you?
That.
Sorry, what?
We have to explain that because, another thing that people struggle with in choosing one thing at a time is how do I know what is the one thing I should be studying now? If I should only choose one. Boy, I really butchered that one. But that's one of the biggest, that was my biggest concern. It's like, how do I know the one thing that I'm focusing on is the thing that I need to be doing?
That's a really good question. That is a really good question. I think that. So Are you going to cover these objections separately from the teaching content?
Uh,
Or,
no.
go ahead.
I want to try to incorporate them as I'm explaining. You know, like Bible reading format, I'll throw out the
Yeah.
objection and then answer it. Throw out the objection and answer it. And that's that's part of the way that I'll teach it. And then some of
So
them that
then,
we can't answer, they'll be in the Q&A section.
okay. Yeah, I think that's a really important one that shouldn't be left.
But you know what the answer is, right?
I know, yes, that is part of the answer for sure.
All right, what else is part of the answer?
Another part of the answer is they're having a challenge with decision making.
It's true.
And so they need to learn that to discern the finest weight in the balance. And if they make a wrong decision, that is often better times to make a decision than make no decision at all. So their greatest challenge is they can't decide. That's why they're struggling with this. Wow, we just went to the root of the issue.
Yes, and that's so true. And what's so beautiful about this program is we get to teach people these fundamental life skills that every missionary and outpost worker, mother, and homeschooling child should learn and know, and gospel workers need this information.
So I have the suggestion.
Okay.
Teaching point number 4, how to make decisions.
That's a good suggestion. What if we do an entire live cast on it?
Oh, I think that would be even better.
That sounds
We're
good.
just gonna need to bump things down in our live cast schedule.
Yeah, because that would be a powerful statement, and to be able to have a theme for a month of daily life videos all about making decisions and these principles. Whoa.
That would be powerful. You know how many people want to know how to make decisions?
Making decisions.
99.9% of people that are living on this earth right now.
Yeah, and that's what the whole Direction from God program is about, is helping them to make educated biblical decisions in every major area of life.
Well, see, this is it. This is the reason that this program exists. Having a live cast on it sounds perfect.
All right, sounds good. And I'll just say this. In the past, what I have done is I've had like a list of maybe like 5 to 10, but closer to 5 things for the takeaways. I don't always cover all of those things, but I find that when you're in the zone, like right now we're in this zone of like this one thing at a time, and it's so much easier to put stuff on there. And in our minds, we're actually creating worksheets like this is going to be the worksheet. So the more work that we do up front right here while it's fresh in our mind, the easier it'll be to pump out the worksheets, if that makes sense.
Excellent.
We're batch decided.
Yes.
Even if we don't cover it in the live cast itself. We're just beginning with the end in mind.
Mm-hmm. This James is going to be for, number 8, where it's talking about he that wavereth. That's going to be in the Facebook live cast. I mean, Facebook daily videos, right? Okay, we'll leave it.
I don't know. It's a good verse. It's kind of hard to. Some of the things we do have to do later. Oh man.
We'll figure it out in a little bit.
Okay. I think what we can do you're right about the problem with making decisions. I would like to whet their appetite for upcoming live cast. And what that does is it builds anticipation and it increases retention. When they realize that we're going to help solve relevant problems, then they're going to want to like stick around and stay in the program. Okay.
Let's see. So many good things here.
This is part of what my sermon was about. I wonder what's a resource that we have. We pull up those slides if there's anything there that would help, or if it would
I
just
think
add
there's a
more
lot of
stuff.
things there, honestly. Go ahead, sorry.
No. I was just saying that I did that to practice for this.
Yeah, that was really good. God really blessed. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. I actually want to pull it up. I got it right here. It's actually already open. Oh, but I didn't go over the cattle prod. Like it said, the words of the wise are as nails
Goad.
fastened by the master of assemblies. No, the words of the wise are as goads. I'm like, what is a goad? I'm like, oh wow, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm prodding people as I'm sharing the counsel of God's word. I'm like, I'm giving you the urge, and here's the appeal. But I didn't go through that. I felt pressed on time.
I think I missed the last, I don't know how long, because we were headed to go on a walk and I lost service.
Oh, okay. Studying one thing at a time. What did I have on that?
So,
Oh, we should use everything in its time? No. I remember I did a whole video on it, and there was so like I did it for family worship one day on studying one thing at a time, and I used a bunch of Bible verses, but I don't remember where my notes were. I think what I did is I just typed in one thing in the Bible, and one thing I was actually surprised, like one thing have I desired of the Lord, and it's like this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind.
wait, that is a really good verse, especially for our action steps. I know we don't probably verses and action steps, but forgetting those things that are behind, that one thing I do.
Yeah.
Like our past, what can I say? Like all of our past cramming so many things into our life. We're putting that behind us, and one thing we're gonna do. I don't know how to describe it well.
So then decide. I think that's perfect. What we could do is we can teach the Bible verse in the presentation, and then just reference it and say, all right, decide what is the one thing that you're going to study, and commit to it for X amount of time. Something. People like those definites. I don't want to prescribe like a exact thing that they have to do, but communicate like, hey, if it helps you, this is what I'd recommend. But just know you can do that for a time and then modify as you see what works best for you in your walk with God. But or maybe just share my testimony. Like in the sermon, what I did is I just shared, depending on what the topic was, it took a little more or less time, and they could realize it's not definite. And the worksheets, I have a list. Consider the list of actionable steps in the system for creating worksheets. I like that. People like to be challenged. That's part of the reason why they join programs like this too. They want that accountability. They want someone to challenge their mentality.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And the thing that breaks my heart is where, like, majority of the people, like you and I are blessed because we're in this environment of evangelism, but the common church member, the common person, who do they have in their life that's challenging them in spiritual things?
No one.
We could be a voice, voice where there is no voice. So here's some actions that we can tell them. We can tell them to practice practice something. We can tell them to describe something, to make a list, or to write down. We can tell them to decide or to focus on something. We can tell them to finish or to understand something. These check boxes can, you know what we could do? In theory, we can take every key concept that we have in our content and turn it into an action. Just take the theory and apply it.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Wow, that would be real practical. And then the worksheet, it just goes into detail there.
That's right. That's right.
We could tell them things that would be good to stop. Like stop reading 5 books at a time. Or 10 books at a time or something. It reminds me in child guidance where it talks about how children get discouraged and how parents need to encourage them at that time not to give up, because if we're not there to encourage them to persevere through difficulty, then it's going to teach them to be unreliable in religious and secular things.
So true. When they get tired of one thing, what is that principle? I'm trying to remember exactly how they phrase it. You're basically saying the same thing, but yeah, that quote is powerful. It's, yeah.
Oh, that's good. This is, so what we call this is a personal encyclopedia. No, personal curriculum.
That's true.
And just
So
encouraging them to use it.
that's excellent. So maybe we should put another personal curriculum worksheet is really good. But I think that maybe putting something on there where they can take their calendar and schedule out some of the things would be helpful for people, especially since they're trying to do it all at once. Like one topic and like, what can I say? Do a rough draft basically on your calendars. This week I'm going to study habits. Next week I'm going to study delegation, you know?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Wow, that's powerful.
So maybe we can, go ahead, sorry.
No, go for it.
So do you think it would be beneficial to update that worksheet with that specific idea, or just leave it?
So I think that would be great to update it, but something that's coming to my mind is, would it be good to have some sort of repeat and enlarge for them?
Yes.
That we can have a basic one and an update, but if we do an update, then I don't know, sometimes like, especially when you print it, I've yet to hear your paperless and digital like connection, but if they print it, then it's going to be hard to give them another one. Then they're like, oh, I have to write down all this stuff again. That may be good or that may be not. But
so, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
But you're inspiring me to take my personal curriculum off of Google Docs and put it on Notion, because that allows me to put a calendar to it a lot quicker.
So this is one. Okay, so this is something that I think we should do, is update the personal curriculum. So do like a mini personal curriculum, so it's not the whole personal curriculum worksheet, because that's perfect for beginners, because it would be so overwhelming if a beginner had the whole other steps. But do an updated one where it's a mini personal curriculum, and then they have the calendar section as well, where it's talking about scheduling and also the decision-making part.
What do you mean this decision-making part?
So like helping them to decide on their devotion so that they have it in front of them, and then they can decide, and then they can schedule it.
Oh, you mean like just like a visual representation of the urgent important matrix?
Yes, exactly. So I can see like they write out the topics that they are currently all trying to study. So that would be like, we'll give them like 5 things, because it shouldn't be 10, right? At the max 5. Hopefully no one's studying 5 things, but you know, some people are trying to study 1 thing every day, right? So if you give them like 5 things, the decision matrix, then you have check boxes on how they can make the decision, so that they can check those boxes, and then put what is it called? What am I forgetting? And then like a calendar right there, or some little, like a mini calendar. So it's like, mark your calendar, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
What if we gave them, what if we gave them a column, like a whole column that says date or scheduled?
Yeah. So dates, that's perfect. So yeah, you can just do like a table.
Yeah, a table.
Yeah, so you can do like the date I'm starting, date I'm finishing, and also we can have goals so that I know when to finish. Like, what's my goal of this study? Like, what am I trying to get studied by in that time?
Wow, like having having defined like objectives and key results that we want to experience as a result of this study. That is so powerful. Right. That's such a definite aim.
That's right. Okay, I'm glad you're getting all this down, because I'm going to start working on this.
This is great. But don't forget to put this stuff on
over in
in the worksheet database.
Yeah, I'll do that. So do you want to hear in the last couple minutes at least part of the idea of what I had?
Yes, please.
Okay, so this is what I was thinking. Creating the Google Docs for the printable, and possibly doing Google Sheets. You know how in Google Sheets, it can be like a sheet, but there's also templates that you can get to represent different things, so it doesn't look just like an Excel spreadsheet, but it has all those boxes and all the features, something like it. Sorry, what?
This last sentence, and it's hard to hear you, to be completely honest. So having goals and objectives, I got so excited I stopped typing. Goals, objectives, key results for what I want to experience or results I want to see as a result from studying this topic in my devotions. Okay, good. I can listen now.
I'm really, really excited about this. This is going to transform people's experience.
Great.
Okay, so what I was thinking is for the people who are going to have a printable version, create a Google Doc like we've been doing, because it's easy to print from a Google document. But for the people who want like an online version, I was thinking of having, I'm trying to decide, but I think a fillable like Google Sheets. You know how there's templates on Google Sheets so it doesn't look like an Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah. You mean templates for the spreadsheets?
Yeah.
Yes.
So like when we did the accounting for Walks with God Ministries, remember we had that spreadsheet, but it didn't look like a spreadsheet because it was all set up. Like, yes. And there was the different pages. Yeah. So I'm thinking if you can create, this is just an idea I have, if you can create the digital forms on a spreadsheet that has templates there. So it doesn't necessarily look like a spreadsheet, but it would be easily duplicatable. So we can just tell you, like we send the link and we just say, all you do is create copy. So they can't edit, but they can create copy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so we just teach them create copy, save it to your Google Drive, and now they have it so it's all in a spreadsheet. So it's easy to access, but it's fillable, so it's not messing up the Google document, because it would be a little bit hard to fill some of these things on the Google document, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. I've taken some courses where they give me forms like that I can fill out on spreadsheets.
Yeah, so
super helpful.
I'm thinking that's probably the best way.
So question, if we
Yes.
did that, are we able to give that to people and let them print that? Or are you suggesting having a Google Doc and having the spreadsheet as two separate things to maintain?
Well, two separate things to maintain. I know that's a little bit difficult, and there might be a way to like synergize them a little bit more, but I think that in the long run, it might be easier. Just because having people print, like trying to type on their Google document, is going to mess up the way we've structured it for printing, if that makes sense. And I feel like if we have, go ahead.
If someone types on what we created, it'll mess it up for printing?
No. So they're going to have to create like copy, create a copy.
Yes.
But it's not going to be, if they're typing on the Google Doc, the way we have the worksheets planned out, in some cases it's going to be a little bit interesting. In others, it's going to be fine.
Like what would be an example of an interesting case?
Great question.
You don't have to have the answer right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to have the answer right now. I was thinking about some of them earlier.
Okay, that's interesting. The only thing that I am somewhat concerned about is I need to write this time stamping spreadsheet while I was thinking about it. The thing that I'm concerned about is, actually I'm extremely excited about these worksheets.
Me too.
But I've just found that if we have to maintain both of them constantly, then it can be kind of challenging.
Well, then maybe what can be done is, because we have this in mind, that it will be printed as well as typed on, then we'll just make it typing and printing friendly. We can probably make it work if we just keep that in mind.
Well, one thing I was actually just learning about innovation yesterday, and one of the sources of innovation is restriction and limitations. And seeing this challenge that we see, I believe will help us to find if we restrict our mind to that possibility, then we'll be able to find something.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Okay. So that's good. But I like what you said about the spreadsheets. I wasn't really thinking about that. That's very interesting.
And maybe if it doesn't work in this setting, we can use it for something else, because that would be very helpful.
Absolutely.
In certain cases.
I completely agree. One thing that I would recommend is take a look at, well, I mean, it's on the worksheet, the system for creating worksheets. Take a look at the worksheet examples at the bottom of the page. System for creating worksheets page. Yeah, I think you'll like that a lot, because it will give you ideas on what kind of formats we can use. I've been taking different courses, and I've grabbed some screenshots, and there's different ways to form information. Have you watched that video I sent you on how to multiply your time?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. I'll put it on the projects board
Good. Good, good, good.
so it's easier to navigate. I know it's easy to lose, but the reason why I say that is because that guy gave us this framework, this blueprint that allowed us to filter every single project or thing that we would do into a very easy like funnel. He called it a focus funnel. And this is going to be easier to just go to YouTube. There's too much stuff there. Multiply your time. He gave us this focus funnel that allows you, anytime that you have a task, you ask yourself, can I eliminate this? No? Okay. Can I delegate this? Is this something only I can do? Or can I delegate it? Or actually before that, can I automate this? Is there a system that I can put in place? Can I put it on automation or somehow do this without any human involved? No? Okay. Well, can I delegate this? Does it have to be done by me? No, it has to be me. It's like, all right. And then can I procrastinate this on purpose? If it has to be done by me, does it have to be done right now? And if not, then let me procrastinate on purpose. And then the fifth one is, if it does have to be done right now, then let me concentrate. So it's eliminate, automate, delegate, procrastinate, and concentrate. And it's
Wow.
so
That's
powerful,
very good.
that funnel. And then every time you procrastinate, it goes to the very top of the funnel. It just like goes back, and then you go through you filter it again until eventually you either have to eliminate it because it keeps going to the top of the funnel, or it gets taken care of at one of those stages, or you concentrate.
That's really, really good.
The reason I brought this up is because we can have this type of focus funnel that helps us to know what should we focus our devotions on, to prioritize in what to study. I think you'll like this video. It's only 18 minutes and you can listen to it. It has slides, but they're not necessary. You can just listen to it.
That's perfect. No.
All right. Well, that's good. I would say that although I set an ambitious goal, we to finish the outline, there was still some onboarding that needed to be done, and I think that the education that you got and learning how to use Notion was well worth it, and we made progress and improved the template, which to me, I think having a system that we can duplicate is a lot better than just doing it and finishing, and then we have to start from scratch every single time. So I think we definitely improved.
That's right. And question.
Yes.
I know I have your schedule, but when is the live cast?
It's the 11th. It's the second Wednesday of every month.
Oh, so you have 3 days.
What?
Congratulations. Today is the 8th.
What? Oh man. I thought that was next week. Oh man. 3 days. Well, when you put in that perspective, thank you.
I feel like the
Interesting.
bearer of bad news.
Wow. That's very interesting.
So we have made some progress, but we are nowhere near ready. So what needs to happen to get this ready? So first of all, creating the worksheets. That needs to be done. But the outline needs to be finished. So you're busy after 2.
You guys gonna join us for lunch? I will. We're closing right now. I am.
Hello, Kamran. Is that Kamran?
Yeah, it's Kamran.
Okay. Hi.
I am busy from 3:30 to 4:30, but after 4:30, I was gonna do something else, but I think I'm gonna do this instead. Boy, brother, there's 3 days to the live cast? 3 days. I didn't realize that. Lord have mercy. So we have all the teaching points covered. Wow.
So, okay, so we need bullet points of what needs to be done to get this finished.
The Bible reading is finished. Okay, bullet points.
No,
Well,
Bible reading is finished.
it's all right
It's
here.
almost finished. Go ahead.
We have this. The Bible reading I was ready to do at the end last time, but we could just use this this checklist here for the Livecast outline checklist. If
True.
these things get done, then we're good to go.
So have we finished this this learning point at all?
I would say we've got
There's just a little bit more weeding out of the content.
well,
Do we need more action steps? We have the benefit, teaching point benefit.
It's done. It's all done. And yeah, I'm totally okay with having more than we need, because like in presentations, I filter through information all the time. I could just adjust it according to it, how it goes. But I would just want to put it in order, but I could put it in order on the slides and it'll be totally fine. So we're totally done with number 3. We don't necessarily know if it's going to be taught in that order, number 3, but we're done with this.
Praise the Lord. Okay. So, if you need my help at 4:30, I can be available because this is my day off today. So.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I will, I'll likely take you up on that offer.
So tomorrow night, and so 4:30 for you, I can actually help every day this week until the Livecast.
Really? Wow. 4:30. 4:30 is a good time for me. I get most of the stuff done during the morning. Those are my most productive days. I mean, times.
I understand.
Or I'll say that's also the times where like my attention is most demanding and I wouldn't be able to do this. So 4:30 actually works better.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
Because I have Bible studies, but it's until 4:30.
Oh, cool.
Your time.
Well, how about we close with a word of prayer?
Yes.
All right. Dear Father in heaven, thank you for this opportunity. We've been able to make this progress. Thank you for your love, your tender grace, and for helping us to realize that time is so short. And I pray that you will be with everybody involved in this process. Help them to know and understand what you would have them to, like with the slides, with the worksheets, with the outline, everything that needs to be done. I pray that you'll give us wisdom and guidance. Thank you for clarity as to how much time we really have. And I pray for your guidance. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I definitely...
Sorry, what?
I didn't structure my day tomorrow in light of 3 days to the Livecast. That's good. If what you can do is create a teaching a benefit statement for all the points that we have, that would be helpful.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
And then I could review it, and that's not a problem.
Okay, perfect.
You have access to this checklist, right? Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Yeah, I do.
Just follow the checklist, do the things that you think you can, and if there's something you're struggling with, add @ symbol and just tag me there.
Okay.
And that'll be fine. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll work on it between now and 7:30 or 4:30 for you.
Okay. God bless.
Yep. All right.
Bye.
Bye.